Do you
Yes.
remember much about the Rosen-Schaffel competition that year? What was that like for you?
Oh, it was a great experience. I had just come back from a summer experience in Toronto, Canada, where I was doing the Marriage Figaro, and we had just gotten back from that. Had about 2 or 3 weeks to really prepare myself. Worked on what I had performed in a lecture recital earlier in the previous semester of the Songs and Dances of Death by Mussorgsky.
Oh, okay.
He's my favorite composer. I love working on that music.
What were your thoughts after you finished?
Man, that's a great question. I mostly felt like I had done the music a pretty good justice. I got some wisdom from a friend one time during a performance about 2 or 3 years before the Rosen-Schaffel competition. And I was really stressed out and constantly comparing myself to the upperclassman who was double casted in the same role, and wasn't thinking I was doing quite a good job. And she told me I needed to get over myself and just perform the music, because it's not about me. It's about the music that I'm performing. And that just completely shaped everything I did after that. And when I went into the Rosen-Schaffel competition and performed, I felt like I portrayed the stories really well. The Songs and Dances of Death by Mussorgsky are rather story-oriented anyway, as it tends to be with nationalistic Russian composers.
Right.
But I felt like I captured the characters in each of the four contrasting pieces, and I sang to the best of my abilities. I was thrilled to be a third place winner for that year. Definitely exceeded all my expectations, but ultimately I left knowing I did the best that I could to the service of the music. So once I finished the Rosen-Schaffel competition, I also finished my compositional exams for the master's degree in voice performance, and started my first job as a teacher at West Forsyth High School in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. This is now my 5th year teaching there, and here I suppose you're looking at the background of my classroom now. And I've really enjoyed it. I've got to bring some great experiences from the competition into this. I even, in my first couple of years, got to share some of the videos of the performance with some of my students to kind of inspire them, which is all about performance practice. And there's definitely a lot in the curriculum about music literacy and understanding rhythms in the context of a tempo, or understanding how one pitch compares to another. I use Takadimi mostly to work with the rhythmic exercises, and solfege to work with the pitch exercises. But as far as the performance aspect goes, we learn the notes, and then we learn how to connect with our audience. Our biggest goal as musicians is to convey the message of the music. We, as vocalists, tend to be extra blessed to have text that we're also trying to interpret, but there's more to be said in performing music than just the text that's there. We also try to be expressive with our singing and speak to what some people have called the language of our souls. I try to incorporate that into my instruction regularly, especially after we've really learned the notes and rhythms of the piece. Of now how we're going to get to that performance aspect of that connection from what you're trying to say with the piece and how you're going to connect that to the audience.
Any other advice on the competition?
Be confident in your skills when you go in, and tell the story. Even the judges are audience members. And yes, it's true that they're there to critique your technical approach, your accuracy of pitch and rhythm, your tone quality, etc. But they, more than anything, want to see the contestants connect to their music and use that music to connect to them and to the audience. So connect with that music, dive in, find out what it means to you, and have something to say other than just, well, isn't that pretty? Well, it's truly a wonderful experience for everybody that they're providing here. Not only are students getting an opportunity to test their skills against some of the other best performers in our state, but in addition to that, they're getting some exposure and experience in performing pieces that they very well could perform later as professional performers. They're getting exposure to other music professionals who, even if you don't place in the contest, very well may see something that you perform and say, I was thinking about doing that in the next 2 or 3 years. I want to get my contact information to that person. And it's a great networking opportunity for people. I think opportunities like this are absolutely necessary to gain that kind of exposure and experience for young and upcoming musicians. There's that statement that you can't get a job unless you've already had one. And this is a great opportunity for people to get that job-like experience, to prepare your music as a soloist and to get on that stage and perform. So I think it's an invaluable experience. And I was grateful for my opportunity and for the continued opportunity that they've provided for these students. Wonderful.